What up, everybody? It's your boy, Straw Hat Brody here. Today, I wanted to talk to y'all because BlizzCon is right around the corner. And of course, we know they're going to be wrapping up the details on The Last Titan. So the question is, what's next for Warcraft? And the re-releasing of older games and Classic Plus is nice, and them changing up the story a little bit is cool. But honestly, I think Blizzard can do better. We've spent decades in this world. We got memories, adventures, heartbreaks, triumphs. But at the end of the day, the writers from 2004 aren't here anymore. And the tone of Warcraft has drastically changed. Some of it we love, some of it we don't love. But there's still a lot more story to tell with main timeline Azeroth. Because we don't even know what's on the other side of Azeroth. So here's my idea for what can possibly be hinted at or presented to us at BlizzCon. I'll be there, by the way. And what I'd like to call it is, rather than World of Warcraft 2.0, Absolute Azeroth. So here's how that all kicks off, right? Say at the end of The Last Titan, yes, we're fighting Xal'atath, and whatever Void Lord ascendant being she's become or fused with Azeroth, we're fighting her, we're stopping her plans, and as that's coming to an end, we hear a voice. Azeroth calls out to us yet again saying, "Heroes, I need you." And suddenly we're pulled away. We're in a land in the middle of another battle, and we don't know what's going on. But we do see one thing. We see a human king wielding the light. We assume it's Anduin, and we run in to help, but it's not. It's King Arthas Menethil, alive, radiant, heroic. Imagine Jaina standing beside us, seeing the man Arthas could have been. We help him turn the tide, and then Azeroth calls to us again. Another timeline, another crisis, another version of our world that needs saving. In each battle, we help the heroes of that Azeroth fight to save their world. Blizzard can honestly treat this like a Warcraft version of a comic book crisis event. A rapid-fire tour through alternate Azeroths, each one showing us how different things could have gone. And honestly, I want it to be conveyed that the theme is, no matter the timeline, no matter the version of the world, we will always answer the call to save Azeroth, the world we love. Okay, but here's one thing I really want to get across to you guys and make sure you get it, is that we're still just using existing lore. What's one thing about the Void that has been conveyed through multiple different characters about that, what it does is that it sees all possible futures, all possible timelines. And we can even piggyback off of what Iridikron said.
Little one, have you ever questioned why the Titans preserve this timeline?
Because this might be the timeline where they win. But with Xal'atath merging with Azeroth, that forms an anchor point, and while we fight Xal'atath and get her weaker, that allows Azeroth to tap into that power. And that can send us to all of these alternate timelines where, the death magic, Necrocut might be winning and might be assaulting Azeroth, and that's where we go to help. Or life magic might be taking over Azeroth, and that's where we gotta go help. Or the light might be taking over, and that's what I'm saying. It opens up to all of these infinite possibilities or infinite Azeroths that Blizzard can actually play with and give us really cool, interesting stories about, rather than giving us or having us relive the glory days of older expansions. To be honest, we've been there, we did that. And I think now with the new writers that are a part of Blizzard now and all of the new story directions they want to explore, I would say do that respectfully in another timeline. To me, an orc being in the Sons of Lothar, I still think that's kind of weird. We don't have to cross that bridge. We never had to do that. But I think with this, it can open up the door to them exploring all of this new and different stuff, basically just bringing over the stuff that we love the most about World of Warcraft as is. So a new Azeroth, a new beginning. Seeing King Arthas Menethil as a hero sets the tone. This is not a reboot. This is not a retcon. This is Azeroth through a whole different lens, another timeline, one we've actually been to before, because we can go ahead and explore the timeline of Yarrow in alternate Draenor. A world that feels familiar, but it isn't, because imagine Azeroth if the Draenei never arrived. We saved them on Draenor, so they never go to that Azeroth. So what, honestly, Blizzard can explore that with the writers they have now, with the concepts they've built up and already established of cosmic lore, but now give us an Azeroth where the light became fanatical. The Draenei never landed on that planet. And then it would be really cool if, jumping ahead, the first expansion, we go back to that Draenor, the one the Mag'har fled from. But this time, we go deeper. The orcs are fighting for survival still against that Holy Crusade. Draenor has zones akin to the Ember Ward in Shadowlands, just burnt of light energy. And also the scrapped Ogre continent, that becomes the last bastion of resistance against the Draenei. And we could still, it would be funny if we did, we could still call it the Burning Crusade, but instead of it being the Fel on Draenor, it's the Light. And I just think that that whole dynamic would be so cool to experience. This gives Blizzard a chance to reintroduce beloved characters in new forms, the same way comics gives us different versions of Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. Like, for instance, Ultimate Peter Parker is different from MCU Peter Parker. And Absolute Bruce Wayne, one of my favorite out of the Absolute universe, is different from mainline Bruce Wayne. And that's the point. These are wholly new characters, but they share a name, they share their essence, they share their likeness. But what would they do if the events were different? Who would they become? Also, if Blizzard goes ahead and takes this route, right, we can take everything, like I said in the beginning of this video, that we love about Azeroth right now without dealing with the stuff that we don't. And there's been a lot of talk about, bringing back the faction war, or the factions are meaningless. And with this Azeroth, honestly, we could do away with the factions. We could honestly have it as it being factionless, and you can pick human, elf, dwarf, troll. And then after making that selection, you choose your subrace, your tribe. You have high elf, you could have night elf, you could have wildhammer, bronzebeard, dark iron, you can have Zandalari, jungle troll, Amani, and so on. It's familiar but different. It's classic but fresh. And Azeroth as we know it, but reimagined for a newer generation of all these new people coming to play the world that we fell in love with. And this can be like how they have with the Classic Plus games. This can run parallel to the main timeline, but not replacing it, not erasing it, just expanding the universe the same way the comics do. Because this can be someone didn't fall in love with Arthas as the Lich King because they weren't around for that expansion. They couldn't play through that expansion for the first time, but this would give them an opportunity to experience Arthas a different version. The king that came back after the culling of Stratholme and didn't chase down Balnazar. He came back and built up his kingdom and was more defensive in his fight against the Scourge or Undead or whatever may be on that planet. Honestly, that's my pitch for World of Warcraft 2.0, or as I'd like to call it, Absolute Azeroth. I'm going to have some more videos diving into like the full story about that, because honestly, I've been sitting on this for a little bit and I'm struggling with, it might be a floating head video because I would love to have the cinematics playing in the background and all of that. My laptop, it don't got the memory or the resources for that right now. So a lot of my videos might be talking head videos. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed this one. Warcraft having a multiversal crisis, a new foundation, a chance to rediscover the world in a completely new way. Let me know what you think. Would you play in an alternate Azeroth? And what timeline would you want Blizzard to explore first? Until next time, see ya. Oh, wait, no. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. I appreciate it. It helps the channel. So until next time, see ya.